It is officially fall, so today's video is all about broccoli cheddar soup. We're going to start off by cutting the end off of our broccoli and shaving the florets off of the stems. So you want these florets to be bite-sized pieces so that we don't bite into huge chunks in our soup. They should be about this size. Next, we're going to take our stem and slice about half a cup's worth into thin pieces. I like to add this to the base of the soup so that we can get more of a broccoli taste in the end result. I'm slicing it super thin because, again, we don't want huge chunks. Next up, we're going to dice up some shallots. I like to use shallots instead of onions because the shallots are a little bit sweeter and they aren't overpowering at all. I'm going to mince up some cloves of garlic. I like to smash them to get the skins off a little bit easier and then run my knife through them a couple of times until it's all minced up. You can also use a garlic press for this step, but I just like to mince them up myself. I'm taking a carrot and I'm cutting the ends off, and then I'm using a box grater to shred the carrots. This is the easiest way for me to shred it, and I should end up with about a cup of shredded carrots. When it comes to shredding cheese, I like to lay down a sheet of parchment paper to make cleanup super easy for me later. Our ingredients include butter, a little nutmeg, white pepper, salt, some flour, broccoli florets, broccoli stems, carrots, garlic, shallots, heavy cream, chicken stock, and of course, cheddar cheese. We're going to start by melting the butter in a Dutch oven over medium heat. This makes about 4 servings, so I think this 4-quart Dutch oven is the perfect size. Once the butter is melted, I'm going to add in the shallots and the broccoli stems and saute them until the shallots become a little bit translucent. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm adding a little salt right now to season. We're not going to go heavy on the salt in the beginning because the cheddar at the end adds a good amount of salt as well. I like to season a little at a time in layers during this whole cooking process. After the shallots have become translucent, I'm going to add in the garlic and we're going to stir that up and cook it for about 30 seconds or just until it becomes fragrant. You don't want to cook garlic for too long because if it burns, it can become bitter. Sprinkle the flour on top of this mixture and give it a good mix. It's going to be a little pasty, but you want to cook that flour out for about a minute so that it doesn't give the soup a raw flour taste. You can see it begins to loosen up a little bit once the butter is incorporated with the flour. Now it's time to add in the chicken stock. We're going to add it in small splashes a little bit at a time, and you'll see why I say this, because once you add in a little bit of this stuff, the mixture kind of clumps up and can get a little bit dry. But don't worry, just keep adding the stock and mixing it until well combined, and you'll soon have a smoother consistency. Our consistency is super smooth at this point, so I'm adding in the broccoli florets and the grated carrot. Season with a little bit more kosher salt. I'm mixing this until it's well combined, and then I'm going to cover this for about 10 minutes and let it cook. After the 10 minutes have passed, I'm going to uncover it and let it cook for an additional 5 minutes until the broccoli and the carrots are tender. It's time to add in our heavy cream, our nutmeg, and our white pepper. We want this mixture to come to a simmer, but nothing higher than that because we don't want the mixture to separate. I've turned off the heat, and now we're going to slowly start adding in our grated cheese. The key to doing this is doing it off of the heat because the cheese will curdle and the sauce will become grainy if it's overheated. I like to work in a little bit of that cheese at a time so that no clumps of it go unmelted. At this point, after all the cheese is melted, you can taste it and see if the level of salt needs adjusting. Check out this beautiful consistency. There are pieces of carrot, there are pieces of broccoli. The broccoli is still whole, which I love, and it's not super mushy. And this is how the bowl of soup should look. You can find the full recipe for this broccoli cheddar soup on my website, thedailyspecial.com. I'll link it down below in the description box. I hope you try this out soon, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.